Hello, Harigaru.
Hi Sagar.
I heard you do a workshop for individuals, teams, and corporates or companies
Right,
called Recreating Your Story.
right.
Basically, what is it about, Harigaru?
Yeah, so whether it's an individual or a team,
Uh-huh.
we all have a story that's running our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And this workshop kind of recreates
Mm-hmm.
your story
Mm-hmm.
by addressing a few questions,
Mm-hmm.
very important questions. Now, these are basically coming from Simon Sinek's talk called Start With Why, which is a very intuitive way to go about our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So he talks about a golden circle,
Mm-hmm.
which has three concentric circles, the innermost being the why, the second circle being the how, and the outermost being the what.
Mm-hmm.
So what Simon Sinek says, and which pretty much is true with our life, is that we all know the what should we do. We have certain goals, we have certain immediate needs, and we address them.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do our work with the kind of inspiration or the kind of commitment that's required.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily because he says we don't start with the right question, which is the why. So instead of starting with the what, and most people don't even know much about the how, most people really don't have a clue about why they're doing what they do.
Okay.
So he says instead of starting with the what,
Mm-hmm.
start with the why.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to the how, and then you go to the what. So why is the purpose, your vision, your premise for your life,
Mm-hmm.
and that will guide the entire, all your actions in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be inspired to do your work because you own your life. You know the reason why you do it.
Mm-hmm.
The how is about values and processes,
Mm-hmm.
and the what is about goals.
Mm-hmm.
So this is basically in a nutshell what the workshop is about.
How does it work?
So we start with the why very clearly. So the workshop starts with very simply asking the individual or the team
Mm-hmm.
why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Right? You can ask yourself the same question: why am I doing what am I doing?
Okay.
Right? And there is a particular answer you will get.
Mm-hmm.
So a cricket team, when it goes, you ask an individual in the team,
Mm-hmm.
why are you playing?
Mm-hmm.
And the individual is not very clear about it.
Mm-hmm.
So in this team, or for the individual, it's very clear to be to know the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So very clearly, a team is going out there to win.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going out there to achieve your own end. Your end, you will achieve your end,
Okay.
but you may not be able to do great inspired work if you're not committed to the team winning.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
So when you talk about the why, typically it's a bigger purpose. It's a greater purpose. You want to do something great with your life.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, a person who's joined the company,
Mhm.
say I can't simply say I'm just here for my money or for my personal growth, because your personal growth, if you're only working for your personal growth, is compromised
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have a greater vision.
Mm-hmm.
But as a company of say how many of our people, 20, 100,000, you can achieve much greater things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you if you commit to the company's why,
Mm-hmm.
if the company itself has a greater purpose, all of us in the company will be inspired to do great work to achieve something great together. So this is how the why will set a premise, a long-term premise, a long-term vision, which gives a lot of purpose, a lot of meaning to every person involved in the company.
Oh.
And we start with with that particular vision.
Mm-hmm.
Like Simon Sinek says, it's also not something that's easily articulated,
Mm-hmm.
but we sit down and try to look long enough to kind of take all the doubts we have in our mind. Because let's say you take a 20-year or a long enough time span,
Mm-hmm.
you're not restricted by your current limitations. You can really come with something beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
something that you can invest your life in. So that's about the why. And then we go to the second step is to obviously go to the how. So we start with the values. So values are what we value most, and values guide our behavior. If my values are if my deeply ingrained values are about honesty, let us say, I will not do anything dishonest. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, a team, an individual, a company, all of them have to have certain values, certain agreed upon values, and say, okay, these are the values we will agree upon. We want to achieve our vision with these XYZ values. right? And we will follow them because all of us believe in them. So as a cricket team, we can say, okay, we will not sledge, or we will not cheat. We will play fair. We will play hard. We will have a good work ethic.
No selfish game.
No selfish game. And so everybody commits to that. And every person in the team knows that if I cross this value, this is what we value. If I break this value, I don't belong to this team anymore.
Okay.
That I am open for punishment. So I'll be known, the team will be known because of this brand. So you can have values like honesty, like hard work, like team spirit, like empathy, like a learning mindset. You can pick any values and typically build, we say pick 4. They become the pillars on which, from the values flow behaviors. And we say this is how we're going to behave. This is what this particular value looks like.
Okay.
And there is a culture that's built over time. And once you have culture in place, so many things become very easy for the team or the individual.
Okay.
Your decisions become easier, what to do, what not to do. Your work becomes more, you're more convinced about how you work.
Okay.
That's one part of the how. The second part of the how is the processes. What are the processes that we currently have and how can we do better? How can we make them more efficient?
Okay.
So we address a few, process-oriented techniques and methods. You could use the IVL method, you can use the OKR method. We talk about all these things and say how can we improve our processes and how can we get more from the same resources.
Okay.
Right? So that's the second part which addresses the how we're doing things.
Yeah.
And then we go to the third, the outermost
That's
circle,
what.
which is the what.
Yeah.
Now what is very simply about setting yourself goals. Most people again don't believe in goals. Most people don't set themselves goals. You can set a goal as an individual within a team. And even if your boss gives you a particular goal or a target, you can set your own goal based on what you think you can achieve. Most of the time what we get is not what, way below our own potential.
Okay.
And when we take somebody else's target, we don't own it as much as setting your own
Okay.
goal. So there is a particular method which is very common called the SMART goal method. Specific, measurable, attainable, reasonable, and time bound. So you set it in a particular format, put some numbers, some names to it, right? And that itself becomes something worthwhile, a goal that will challenge you.
Okay.
And here what we do is we look at, we start with the longest term goal. We don't set a goal for an immediate. We set a 20-year goal. And say in 20 years, where does the company, where are you, what does the company achieve, how big does it look? We try to create a picture. Then we come back, have a 10-year goal, 5-year goal, a 2-year goal, and then we connect to the present. So from the present, it's very easy to connect to the higher goals.
Yeah.
What it does is it grows you much more. It kind of gives you something bigger to target. By the end of this whole exercise, you have a new roadmap. You have a map in your hand. What is my vision? Why am I doing what I'm doing? What do I want my life to look like? How am I going to live it? How efficiently can I do it? And what are the milestones? So you have a pretty good, story that you can actually live. And this is a story you can create as an individual, as a team, and as a company.
I have a small question.
Yes,
Basically, when you set a 20-year goal, what will be the belief system of the team or individual when you do it? Will
Right.
they believe, like after 20 years, let's say, they want to be a 1,000 crore company?
Right. So what 20 years does and why we do a 20-year time span is that if you take a very short-term goal, we have a lot of limitations. You say, oh, this is happening, this is happening, this is not happening, this is what, I am like this, I don't think we can do this. But if you look at a 20-year span, many of these doubts and limitations are overcome. You don't look at them because it's a long time span.
Okay.
So many things can change. And you look at this vision because it does seem possible. I mean, so many things happen in 20 years. On a very short term span, your doubts and limitations may come. But on a longer term, it's open.
Super, Harimohan. So recreating your story.
Yes, and recreating story is a very powerful exercise.
Super.
And it will give you a new map. You can just go out, use this roadmap, keep it on a piece of paper, and that's about it. recreate your life.
Super, Harigar, great program it is.
Right. Thank you, Sagar.
Thank you, Harigar.